Bartonella buddies. If you're mysteriously or chronically ill, you probably have a horrible doctor story to tell. Actually, if you've ever been to a doctor, you probably have a horrible doctor story to tell. Here's mine. I was really anxious to see this neurologist at UC San Diego, and I had been waiting for what seemed like an eternity to see her. My mom and I were looking for a second opinion after I'd been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And at this point in the journey to getting a diagnosis, every doctor's appointment is super precious. And don't get me wrong, they're still precious now, but back then, I only had one chance every few weeks to pick an expert's brain, and you're really beholden to the knowledge and expertise of a doctor. It feels like they hold all the cards, and if they haven't heard of what you have, they're probably not going to figure it out for you, and no one tells you that. So my mom wheeled me into my wheelchair, and the resident physician took my entire...
Into my wheelchair.
Into my wheelchair! She wheeled me into my wheelchair. So my mom wheeled me into the exam room in my wheelchair, and the resident physician took my entire background for 30 minutes. And at the end, there were a couple of questions that really didn't sit right with me that got my spidey senses tingling. I've never seen Spider-Man, I really don't know what that is. One of them was, have you ever lived away from home? And the other one was something like, have there been any big or stressful life changes recently? And I said, other than becoming disabled? No. 5 minutes later, the doctor rushes in and she already looks mad at me with her wild eyes. I swear, her eyes looked like this. She has me do some neurological exam exercises, like walk back and forth across the room, and then she has me do some squats, and I'm wearing a gown, which is open in the back, and I'm like spread eagle, flashing the resident physician. A little awkward. She then looks at my wheelchair and asks, who gave you that wheelchair? Did we give you that wheelchair? Accusing the resident. My mom says no, and that we bought the wheelchair because it hurts to walk. She then asks, well then why do you have that wheelchair? My mom and I say in unison, because it hurts to walk! She then separates my mom and me by having my mom leave the room, and she asks me if there's anything I want to tell her. And I say, no. Is anyone hurting you? No. Are you being abused? No. I feel like you're intimating that my illness is psychosomatic. Psychosomatic? Who told you psychosomatic? I know what that word means, and I feel like you were insinuating through your line of questioning that my illness is psychosomatic. You bitch. And the resident physician was just standing in the corner looking stricken. The doctor then brings my mom back into the room, and she says, I'm referring you to psychiatry. It was like she was bullying me into a psychiatry referral. Actually, the night before this appointment, my mom's friend warned us that when neurology doesn't know how to diagnose you, they put you to psychiatry. It's like the only thing they know how to do. It's a good thing we were warned. She was so angry with me that I would dare waste her time. From the moment I met her to the moment she referred me to psychiatry, it couldn't have been longer than 7 minutes. As she left the room, I might have called her a see you next Tuesday. But I don't know, I don't remember. Except I might have yelled it. My visit with this woman was so invalidating, and I left there so bereft of human dignity and honestly traumatized. I even for a split second questioned whether my pain really could have psychiatric origins, and I was just unaware of it. And after I did a lot of research, I discovered that yes, most likely, if you do have a somatic symptom disorder, you're probably not aware that this is the case. However, I also discovered that in order to diagnose someone with a somatic symptom disorder, a person must have excessive and disproportionate thoughts, feelings, and behaviors associated with their illness. Given that I went from a healthy and happy 25-year-old to living with my mom again, just kidding, my mom's right here, she's great. I'm a mama's girl, mama's girl. But seriously, I'm coping so well considering I have a mysterious, chronic, and disabling illness. She was unwilling to entertain that my illness could be caused by environmental factors, seronegative rheumatological factors, or infectious disease. Turns out it was infectious disease. Joke's on her. I win. I have a bone to pick with doctors who practice armchair psychiatry. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you know jack shit about mental illness. And just because you can't diagnose someone in 5 minutes doesn't mean that the etiology of their pain is psychiatric in nature. And even if I was psychosomatic, I am deserving of care, respect, and empathy, as we all are. Perhaps if the doctor had been the one to spend 30 minutes with me instead of the resident physician, the outcome would have been different. But I highly doubt it. I truly wonder and worry how many patients she has jettisoned to psychiatry just because their neuroexams are negative, leaving these patients without answers, without support, and with pain. So the second part of this crazy story is that I went on every single website I could find to leave a scathing review because I'm super vindictive, and I found this, and I quote, I've never felt so degraded by a doctor. She walked into the office with an idea about what was going on, and she didn't listen to what I was saying. She even separated my husband and gave both of us the third degree about him being abusive, which was totally unrelated to the issue at hand and extremely out of line. She said, "I'm not saying you're crazy," which was exactly what she was saying. "Do not see this doctor. If you have an undiagnosed condition, she will just send you to the psychiatrist." And of course, people who leave reviews are the people who either really hate the doctor or really love the doctor. But this was just so carbon copy of what I said, it's evidence that she sucks. Why is this woman even a doctor if she has such a strong distaste for patients? I hate her so much. I hope she gets sugar in her sugar-free vanilla latte, and I hope she develops inoperable bunions from wearing high heels at work. And you know what else I hope? I hope that she stabs her eye with the mascara wand once, or twice, or thrice. I know many people would say you should just forgive and forget, but honestly, I prefer to hold grudges. I think it's super healthy, like kale or kombucha. This is what I think she should have said. I know this must be a really scary and difficult time for you. Oftentimes, people can feel anxious or depressed in situations like this. Perhaps you'd like to talk to a psychiatrist about how you are feeling. Now really, doctor, see you next Tuesday. Would that have been so hard? Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you've ever had a doctor experience similar to mine, and leave your thoughts and comments down below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for bi-monthly videos on Bartonella and its related conditions. And say goodbye, Piper, to our Bartonella buddies. Bye! Psychiatry referral. Oh, glurg.